Welcome to Solutions for the People Side of Business. This is episode 3, and my name is Scott Aritam. What I thought I'd talk about today is about some specific elements that organizations that provide a service are required to present. Without these, the recipient of the services tends to feel that they are not getting what they bargained for, and it's a negative situation for both. With these elements, both parties, the organization providing the services and the people receiving the services, feel fulfilled. Now, before I begin to reveal these elements, I will say that even if you are an organization that produces a product, you're not necessarily a service-oriented organization. Look inside. You have departments, teams, and various pieces of your organization that provide a service to others inside the organization, maybe to customers. And so this is a topic that benefits every organization if you stop and think about it. However, the research was done through the Texas A&M University system, and it was done specifically targeting service-oriented industry. And what are the 5 things that any organization in an industry like that has to have? All right. I'll start off by telling you that I used to teach this at Southwest Airlines many, many years ago, and since then, I would say a good 60% of my clientele, and then the clientele that others have brought into leadership systems, has been service-oriented. Nevertheless, organizations that produced an actual product have also benefited from this. So with that, let's dive in, shall we? The very first thing that an organization is going to need is to present reliability. Now, what do we mean by this? Specifically, the ability to perform the promised tasks, or the services that are to be delivered dependably and accurately. Being reliable to the organization or to the consumer, the customer, is critical for the organization, and you can understand why. And many organizations have mechanisms built to both measure and ensure a specific standard of reliability. Next, however, you stop, and once you have reliability, you have to provide responsiveness. Responsiveness is the willing to help people who want to or need to use the service. Providing prompt response to problems, questions, issues, inquiries of any kind. This, again, is something that many service-oriented organizations have brought to the table and have systems built around this. So these first two are things that are fairly common and common sense. As we continue, the attention that's given to these next 3 varies from organization to organization, but they have to provide them, and to build systems around them is the smartest way to go. So presenting next would be a sense of assurance for the customer, the consumer. This would be the knowledge and courtesy of the organization's employees and their ability to convey trustworthiness, to convey confidence. If you stop and you think about assurance, being able to walk into a situation as an employee, and regardless of what the customer is experiencing, never have the attitude, "It's not my job." Never, have the approach that you cannot help. Those things help to convey a sense of assurance that this organization has things under control. This organization, even when things aren't operating in a standard fashion, the organization is prepared to handle it. It's when people, consumers, customers happen to hear someone in a service-oriented organization complain about their organization, complain about things like their hours, their pay, their supervisor, anything like that. Those things do the opposite of conveying assurance. Believe it or not, even when an employee is off duty, is not working, for someone from the outside to hear that still affects them if they happen to later be trying to use the service. So, it's definitely something to think about. How does the organization institutionalize the conveyance of assurance for the customers and the consumers? Next, the service-oriented organizations have to present empathy. And this is easier said than done. Empathy is not sympathy. Empathy is caring, individualized attention. It is putting yourself in the shoes of somebody else, in this case the customer or the consumer, understanding why they might feel a certain way, how they could possibly feel a certain way. Doesn't mean agreeing. Agreeing is something completely different. But understanding and being able to put yourself in that situation creates a new level of tolerance and a new level of commitment to ensuring a happy engagement with the organization, not wanting to have any customer or consumer, step away from an interaction with the organization unhappy. You could see how an organization like Southwest Airlines has embodied this. But like I say, there are many, many organizations out there that have, come to embrace this and use this in so many creative ways. And it has to be thought through and, like I say, institutionalized, built into the very fabric of how business is done. And then finally, an organization in a service role has to present tangibles. What are the things that you look at from an organizational standpoint and you say, that is that organization? I mean, what the organization produces is a service, so there often isn't a tangible that is produced for a consumer or a customer that they walk away from. So it's not like buying a box of cereal and saying, this is Kellogg's. What are the things that the service-oriented organization produces, and how do people see them? For example, for my organization, I'm wearing this shirt that says, that has a company logo on it. I give away a ton of swag, and I produce videos like this where you can see at least a piece of the organization. These are tangibles. These are things that the organization can present, and how the consumer sees these things: the cleanliness, the organization, the attitude that comes with it. Everything that is presented on behalf of the organization becomes a tangible. You can see it, you can maybe touch it, you can interact with it. These things are critical because they give someone the idea of what the personality of the organization is, who it is, the character. Bottom line, it goes towards, as a consumer or a customer, it goes towards the answering the question, can I trust you? Do I have faith in you? Can I reasonably expect that every time I give you my money, give you my time, give you whatever it is the exchange, that I am going to be rewarded in return equally? With that being said, these are the 5 elements that a service-oriented organization must present in order to create, in the eyes of the consumer or the customer, some sense of confidence and a desire to continue to do business, to move forward with that organization. So, with that being said, have a great day, and we'll see you next time on the people side of the business. This is Scott Airtam with Leadership Systems. Goodbye.